Hi guys, what's going on? This is Chris with IPGRentals.com, and today we're going to go through the Blackmagic Video Assist, Recorder, and Monitor. Let's check it out. Okay, so what I have right here is the Blackmagic Video Assist. It is a recorder and a 5-inch monitor. The resolution is 1920 by 1080, and it can actually record 1920 by 1080 up to 60 frames. So let's kind of dive into this. What is the point and purpose of this item right here? Really, it's a very simple monitor, but it caters to a lot of needs, mainly because it can record, like I said, up to 60 frames at 1080, but it does two very, very distinct codecs, one being Apple ProRes, the other one being the DNX Avid one. So just in case, whether you're editing or whether you need it, deliverable for your own for your own client at whatever codec that they need it, it gives you a nice wide range. It also does 10-bit color. So let's just jump right into this. Right at this point in time, just so you know, we have the brightness and contrast turned very low on this so that the B cam can pick this up without it being kind of blown out. So it does look a little bit like the blacks are crushed and very contrasty. However, you can set those up, and I'll actually show you in just a little bit how to do that. So I'm going to kind of go just left to right here on the top, and then left to right on the bottom. Let's just go here. Actually, that little box right there, I will go back to because that's actually your display and viewfinder settings. So your format right here, you see it's 1080, 2398. What's good is when you plug it in, as long as it's obviously up to 60 frames, it's going to read it from the camera automatically. You don't need to set anything up or wait for it to make sure that your settings are all synced up. Whatever's coming out of that camera, if it is readable to this, it will read it and it will display it at the top. So you can see right now we have 2398. The codec, I have it at ProRes HQ, but all you have to do is just click that and you see that here are your options actually. So you can go ProRes HQ, ProRes, ProRes LT, ProRes PR, and then we start to get into the DNX formats, 45, 145, 220X, 45 MXF, and 145 MXF, and 220X MXF. Now, personally, I am a ProRes fan, so I'm going to go back here to ProRes HQ. So there are our codecs right there. Now, it does not record in a RAW format. However, ProRes HQ I think is a very standard and a very high quality compression. So I think that's actually pretty good for what it is. So we go to the trigger record here. The trigger record is obviously when you press your button on your camera, you don't have to worry about going up to the monitor and hitting a record button. So you can actually set that up between never, your SDI and HDMI, and the next setting is actually a time code trigger. Now this was a little hairy. We did a little research on it, and whenever you go here, you can see as soon as I do that, it starts recording right here. So, but you also see the time code pass through on the top there. So that's a little funky because as soon as we went over to it and moved over, it started recording because the time code is on free run. Now I would imagine it's ideal if you're doing record run, because when the record run starts, that's when it would trigger. So that is obviously the ideal time that you would want to use the time code trigger. So I'm actually going to stop it, come back up here, and I'm going to put it on never because I actually like to hit the button because it's always a little scary thing when you go hit the button on your camera and you trust that that thing's going to record. So I kind of like doing both personally. So, and then source is SDI. Now, I didn't show you the sides. I'm going to show you right now. You have two inputs right here. And what's great about this monitor, it's tiny, but it's got a pass through. So you can actually go a 6G SDI in and out, or you can do a standard HDMI in and a standard HDMI out. A little con to this was that you had to buy a different kind of SDI cable, and then you have to get a barrel if you're going to go into a standard female SDI cable. So that's a small con of it, but definitely the cable wasn't much, so we jumped on it and it's working just fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the other side, and you'll see very simple. You have the power button, you have the headphone bracket, or I'm sorry, headphone input. You have the SD card slot, and then you have the 12-volt power. And it does come with a 12-volt wall adapter, and I'm sure there's like a PTAP power to this that you can use. We haven't gotten it just yet, but I'm sure that they make it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off the source right here. And we did the trigger, we did source, and the card. Okay, so we're here in storage, and you can see that it has the card name, it has the capacity of the card right now, and then it has the format of it. Again, exFAT is a nice universal format that both Mac and PC can use. We're going to go ahead and format this card. Obviously, I love it. Please keep asking me the question like 6 times, because, you know, you definitely need to have a couple of stops before you format a card. And just remind yourself that that you should be formatting the card. All right, so this is moving. Okay, boom, we are now ready for use. Now I'd like to point out that when you just start, it just says the card is ready. But actually when you hit the record button, it'll give you a time about how much time you have left on the card. So when I hit record right here, boom, 20 minutes. Something I wanted to add about this too. When we first got this and we put a few cards in there, a couple of them had a transfer rate of like 35 megabits, 40 megabits, 45 megabits per second, and it was giving us a little exclamation point right here, a little red exclamation point. Didn't quite know what it was for a second, went ahead and just put a very fast card inside of it and went away immediately. So Blackmagic does have specific cards that you should use with this as to not run into that issue itself. So we're here. Now this is actually the battery icon, and I really like this here, to be honest with you, because the batteries, the Canon batteries on the back, they don't have any way for you to see, you know, exactly what percentage they're at. So I like this because it gives you, it drains one battery at a time, not both. That's good. And you can hot swap it, which is nice, so you don't lose your picture. But you see the 15% right there and 100%, it gives you a nice percentage too. So you can really time it out when you're going to need a battery. So I really like the description there. You have your histogram here on the bottom. That is a permanent fixture down there, so you really can't change that. Your reverse, obviously, or your rewind, your play, your start. And you can see that I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button right here. And you'll see that was what I was talking about just a second ago. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that. Now we're back here. And then right here we have the audio levels, which is, again, another fantastic thing, because this is the all-in-one thing. And again, you know, it's a small item, but it's very powerful. So let's start going into the pieces of it that, you know, for monitor, like peaking and zebra and all that stuff. So that is actually going to be, like I said, we're going to circle back here to the top. And that is right there. So you can see zebras, and all you got to do is just take this up or take it down based on what percentage you want to kind of live at. Now it's a little dark in here, so we're a little underexposed, but that's okay. And so, or I just, you know, or you have your peaking off, or I'm sorry, zeros off completely. So I'll go ahead, and it can be a little finicky on here to kind of, you know, you have to really put the pad of your finger down wherever you want to go. Focus assist. You can do on, you can do off, low, medium, or high. And inside, and I'll show you, there's actually a second menu where you can do your focus assist stuff. So I'll go to that in 1 second. Guides, you can set your guides. As you can see, HDTV 4:3. 2040 to 1, 2039 to 1, 35 to 1, 185 to 1, or off. I love to use guides, and I also love to use grids, just so you can do your theory of thirds and you know, get the most pleasing to the eye. So I'll go ahead and turn that off just for this moment. And then you also have a false color that you can do as well to see, you know, what's pluming, what's not pluming. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so another fun thing is if you take your finger on here and you actually move it to the left or to the right, it's going to bring up this menu right here. Now, we did storage actually by hitting that button at the top, and you can actually access it from here as well. And then we're going to go to monitor over here. Now, with monitor, you can see focus assist is either peaking, or you can do lines, which you can actually see in the background right there, that you can see what's in focus is green, and you can change that over here, red, blue, white, however you want to do it. I love green or red. It really comes out. That you can do 3D LUTs as well. We don't have any loaded on there right now. You can do an auto screen rotation, so if you flip it upside down, it will flip automatically. And let's go here. your display. Like I said, everything came at 50%. So like I said before, we have it turned down just to expose properly on the camera over there. And our contrast is low. Saturation's at 50. I kind of just left it there. And then let's take a look at setup. So on the setup right here, it's kind of just housekeeping stuff. You can see the name of it. You can see the range of the HDMI. You can see the date, language, and also the software update as well. And then from there, you just click out of it right here. And you can see I have my my focus assist on here right now, and I like it, again, green. That's just personal preference. And there's one more thing you can do, and this to me, it's a bit of a draw. It's like at first it's great because you can do your critical focus. The only thing is you can't move it to like an eye or something like that. That would actually help with the assist. So you got to come out here and kind of just wherever it lands is what you can kind of focus off of. And that is pretty much it. I'm just going to go ahead and take off the focus assist just because I don't want that blasting right now. And again, you got to use the pad of your finger to really be able to use that. And one more tiny little thing, if you want this all gone, and this is very important to remember because these bores at the top are not the top of your frame. They're actually just where the display info and the status stuff is. But just to get rid of it, you just take your finger and take it down, and that's it. You have a clean frame. To bring it back, you hit that right there, and you bring that down. And here we are. And then to record, just hit that button right now. And then to stop, you wait. And that's it. You can see it does 2-channel audio as well. So that's the Blackmagic Video Assist. At IPGRentals.com, we want you to feel very, very confident with the gear that we offer. So we are constantly updating our online repertoire of video to help you on your shoot to optimize whatever it is that you're doing. And we're so very happy to help. So please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, IPGRentals.com, it's our gear, it's your vision.